Hello, it's me again. It's October the 7th, 2016. Now, it's been several weeks since I've been on here, and I thought it was time to pay you good people a visit. Those who take time out to check this out. And again, the purpose of this is to try to help people feel motivated and empowered and not completely victimized by the horrors disease of pancreatic cancer, or any disease. But of course, what I'm suffering from is pancreatic cancer. Diagnosis April 8th, 2016, and here to update you. Well, as mentioned in a previous rendering, they did some cells were found in my abdomen, what they call floating cells, which mandates more chemo and keeps us out of the feasible application of surgery to take this the primary tumor away. The thinking being that as long as there's something lingering, if you will, satellite wise, it could attach itself somewhere, metastasize, and taking away the primary source won't be a service. And the time that I would recover, what might even allow it to metastasize aggressively and cause greater harm, not to mention the wear and tear that surgery has on the body, surgery of this sort, which is considered to be major because the pancreas is pretty deep inside you, behind your stomach, and the surgery in itself can present a lot of hazards. So I've already completed two infusions, rounds of chemotherapy on this second session of six. So the hope is that these sessions, these six, will take away any floating cancer cells and put me in a position where I can have the primary tumor source of the cancer surgically removed and hopefully get on with my life. Now, I heard great news from a neighbor who said his father-in-law actually made it through pancreatic cancer and got the surgery and went on to live many more years and died of something else, which is encouraging because my doctor said you will definitely die from this. This will kill you. The doctor I have, given me 2 years, so it's good to hear encouraging things contrary to the dismal things that you sometimes hear from these medical professionals, who again are still human beings. They don't have the final say, and they don't know precisely what will truly be. So you keep them fighting. So I am trying to eat well, drink a whole lot of fluids, because this time around the chemo is kind of lingering a little bit longer, maybe because of the cumulative effects. It's causing me to be a lot more sensitive to cold, and to the point where if I touch certain things, I get very uncomfortable, almost electric feeling, like shock. And I have to wear socks and shoes because if I don't, and I come in contact with cold pavement or even the cold floor in the house, it has the similar previously described effect. It's not comfortable. And my legs, there's some numbness, at times. I guess the major change is that I'm no longer working full time. I had to take leave because it just took its toll. I was forcing myself to deal with a situation that required a healthy person's ultra energy to effectively and carry it out. Teaching middle school kids in a very challenged community, in a school system that is in serious disrepair, with kids who come from very challenged circumstances and present extreme challenges in terms of getting them to do the right thing and to work, and just to listen. So I do have the support of my principal, and it seems the people whose support I need. So hopefully there'll be a positive outcome to that, and hopefully FMLA will support me, and I'll be able to retain my job, or I'll be able to transition in time to something else. So that took place earlier this week, and so I would have liked to continue work, and I would like to have been there, and would have liked to have been able to serve these kids. But there's higher needs at work here. I'm fighting for my life, and I have to devote my energies to doing what's necessary to give me the best chance at survival and hopefully again good health, so I can be here for my son and my wife and others who think of me. Had a very scary episode a couple weeks back, and I've learned that I cannot drink things with coffee in them. I love those coffee mocha things and cafe and cappuccinos and stuff like that. Not the real coffee, but those things, those drinks. I don't even know what they're called, but they're tasty. I like them, but I can't do it, my friend. Man, it had me, cramps, like, it's just horrible pain, and it led to diarrhea and some other things. Feces actually showed blood, and I went to the doctor the next day, and I was sure he was going to tell me that the cancer metastasized to all my digestive tract, and I had kind of made peace with that and was ready to hear the worst, but I was blessed and that it was only some sort of severe reaction to, I guess, the lactose, because I had eaten ice cream as well, though I mixed it with lactose milk. And the coffee combination, I love ice cream, and I just went for it that day, and I paid for it, and it was terrible. Had fevers and just, but got over it, and the other day, yesterday, I just had a little coffee drink, a little bit, and a much lesser version of that episode occurred, and I'm drinking my water to try to replenish myself. That's not water, that's apple cider. Tricked myself. But so you have to respect, what your body is saying. If it says don't eat this, don't eat it. If it says, drink this, get more of this. And I think that's what it comes down to. Apples and fruit, apples mainly, seem to be the easiest thing to handle, And apple juice seems to somehow settle the chemolyzed stomach. I am trying something that one of my cousins, and she just put on Facebook. It was about dandelion root tea, and I'm trying that. It was said to actually kill cancer cells, and then with some research it said it could be bad and that it could counter some of the effects of chemotherapy. But overall it seemed to be worth a try, so I'm drinking that, and we'll see what my blood shows when I go in next week for session number 3 of chemotherapy. So I'm just trying to get my rest and respect that. And I will say, life does go on, and people go on as they are. And you don't always get the support you need, even from the people you need it from the most. And it's very, very, very hurtful, and it's very, very painful, but they're not in your situation. They can't empathize, I guess, enough. And people are just so caught up in life, man. They're just so caught up in life that, anything that's a threat to what they think the way things should be going meets with conflict and adversity, and it's hurtful. It really is, and my heart goes out to those people who are in the worst predicament to me that are experiencing this from their significant others. But I guess people are just people, and you have to deep dig inside, deep. See, chemo. See, deep dig. Go deeply inside yourself to find the resources to help you advocate for yourself and do what's right for yourself. I'm blessed. I do have the disability coming, and I'm fighting for some other disability that I have retained a lawyer for, and I'm doing everything I can to secure my home and to secure things financially. And it's sad that money runs the show, but money runs the show. So, trying to keep my mental self together, because chemo does affect you mentally. I mean, it does affect the thought process. It does affect some of your cognitive functions. Some people call it chemo brain, and it's a real thing. I find that my temperament is not quite what it used to be, and my patience isn't quite what it used to be, and all those things you have to kind of keep in check and respect, and try to temper them as best you can. It's a rough road. I've lost a little weight finally. I'm actually not too concerned about it, because I need to lose about 25, 30 pounds ideally, but I like to lose it by working out and diet rather than losing it because I just not eating because food doesn't taste good and because I'm just too nauseous to eat. But sometimes you just got to force yourself to do that as well. Eat, it might taste like mush. It might taste like nothing at all. And eating when it tastes like nothing at all really takes the bite out of eating. I had to get that in. I'm sorry, I didn't. But but try to respect those things. It's not really much more to say. You just go on. You try to be positive, and sometimes looking healthy can work against you. Because people deal surface wise, and if you look healthy, people assume you're healthy, and even those closest to you who know that you're not healthy, and you don't want sympathy, and you don't want to be doted upon, and you're not trying to use your disease or anything like that. But you do want to respect it, just like anything else. A cut would be respected with it being cleaned, and with a Band-Aid and salve and maybe a little kiss, But cancer's inside. You don't get that unless you have somebody who's a little more introspective or extrospective. So the fight goes on. Be an interesting fall, and by winter I will be through with these 6 chemos, and they'll check me again, and the hope and prayer is that there's no floating cells and they can move ahead with this surgery, and maybe I can look forward to a life of being, if not cancer-free, at least in remission. And if not, then we'll have to move on to the next phase, which probably will include a different form of chemotherapy, because this one will have not proved to be effective in doing what it's proposed to do. So always asking for prayers, thanking you for kind words, and pass this on to someone who may need to see it, because I'm winning. I gotta cut this off, but